How has the show Selling Sunset changed your perspective on everything?
I wouldn't say it's
It
changed
didn't?
my perspective that much, no. I mean, I think it's made me wealthier, and more of a public figure. I don't think it's changed my perspective on things
But
really.
has anything changed when you go out now and that you're
Oh,
recognized
yeah.
all the time?
Yeah, but I don't think that changes my perspective. I mean, it changes my life in as much as I'm taking, photos with people when I'm out. But other than that, it's pretty similar. If you took away me taking photos,
Mhm.
99% similar as my old life, you know? Although also I think it's helped me build my business and my career, so I'm wealthier because of that.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think I'm a different person. I mean, shit, you've known me since way before the show.
Same. You've mellowed out though a lot.
That's
That's-
not from the show.
Okay.
The show stresses me out. Mellowing out, I think, is therapy, years of therapy, and which I probably credit more than anything. But then learning not to stress out over things. I think perfect example, like if I got a contractor bid of $1,400, I would immediately get a rush of cortisol. I would be, this is probably only $800. Show me the labor, show me the parts. Let me get a second bid. And all of that would be anxiety and stress and cortisol. And I literally have in my phone, don't sweat the small things. I know that's kind of cliche.
Where do you have that?
Look, I just opened up my phone. It's on my notes. So it's my.
You know what's so funny you do that? I'm gonna show you this. For every decision I make, I go through that. Return on hassle.
Yeah.
Like how to spend
good for
money.
you.
Yeah.
Screenshot.
That's very, very. I'll read like 4 or 5 for the people watching here. Well, some of it's about me being a boss, so I'll skip that. Be a positive personality, and then I put like my dogs, like Nico, Zelda, Thor, because my dogs have the best personalities. Don't be too hard on yourself. Set an example. Compliment, appreciate, and validate people more. Be more serious. Be more serious. Be less serious. More lighthearted, humorous, easygoing. Be more present, patient. These are the most important one is don't take things personally. I now try not to personalize so many things, like other people's actions are a reflection of them. My therapist told me, and so many people someone gets angry or someone's driving and they cut you off and flip you off. It's not about you. Maybe they're having a bad day. Like it doesn't need to get you so upset. So I now don't let other people affect me as much. I now also, this one is the most important one is don't sweat the small things, because I used to think everything was a big deal and I used to have to react immediately and get my cortisol up and solve it. And I now realize that everything resolves itself. Everything, 99% of things resolve themselves. 99% of things, when you look back on them 6 months later, were not nearly the big deal that you thought they were. So I just take that approach to everything, that everything is small. And I remind myself every day that every issue I'm going to deal with is small. And it is. It ends up that they're small. And I have a lot of issues that I'm dealing with. I probably have more issues today with 100 agents and 4 offices than I've ever had. And I'm the least stressed because I've just, I've kind of turned, I look through things from a different prism.
Were you addicted to cortisol in the past?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I used to think that I needed cortisol to have the energy to work hard.
Yeah.
I used to think that was my motivating force, and I had to have this reactive, aggressive, cortisol infused kind of approach to things. And I realized that I'm calmer, happier, more relaxed, less reactive, more, I think arguably more thoughtful, and happier. And I handle just as many things. And I think the people around me appreciate all of that more as well.
What led you to go to therapy in the first place?
Me and my brother were fighting a lot. So I said, let's go, brothers therapy, kind of like couples therapy, but for brothers. And I thought it was helpful. And then I said, I want to continue to see you, individually. And it worked. She almost quit on me. Brett and I would fight so much in therapy, and I was so difficult.
What were you guys fighting about? Just silly,
Brett and I fight over anything. Honestly, we can trigger each other and just really get after it.
Because you guys know what buttons to press.
Yeah, exactly. It's like 40 years of skill. We're both lawyers, we just go at it. Yeah, I used to be very if there's one thing is that I was very reactive. I would just get that cortisol rush and I would follow it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, I just don't anymore. I feel it now and I'm like, oh, I don't need that, and I'm just so happy. I'm so much happier. And everyone that knows me tells me how much more chill I am. And
How
it
long did that
reinforces
take?
it. 5 years, probably. 5 years, but that's me trying. I mean, it's me reading my list every day. That's me going to therapy every week. That's me thinking about it and wanting to improve on these things. It's not, you can't be lazy about it. For me, it's like the gym for my mind. I've been going to the gym for 30 years. I go 5 times a week. Same, you gotta have that same approach to therapy.
Why do you think it took you so long to finally make that decision to try to actively work on it?
Because I think it's really easy just to kind of, well, first of all, I thought that I needed this reactive cortisol, aggression to kind of continue to succeed in business.
But something made you change your mind that you don't.
I think for everyone it's different. I definitely don't think it's other people telling you that you need to change. That's not going to change you. You really have to want to change. And I don't know if there's anything other than that. Just, people just have to wait for that moment for themselves. I'm not sure there's anything you can do or say to kind of make yourself ready. You just have to get to a point where and I'm just someone who wants to improve. And for so much of my life, improvement for me was getting good grades, getting into law school, opening up a business, making more money, growing there's all these markers that we have, especially in a capitalist society, of what success means. And it wasn't until I kind of viewed success as, my happiness and my ability to kind of create, happiness among people. Like when I started realizing that that's actually what success is, then I'm like, oh, well, in order to be successful under this new definition of success, I need to see a therapist.
How do you know if a therapist is good or not?
If you're getting better. For me, I probably could have, no disrespect to my therapist, but I could probably talk to a brick wall to some degree, because it's really about me telling my therapist what my problems are, what situations I got in where I did not handle myself in the way that I wanted to, and then how I wish I would have handled it. So it's almost me like talking to myself. And now you got chat. I mean, I think everyone should be using therapy apps now.
How is ChatGPT in terms of therapy?
Haven't used it.
Relative.
I've used it for
I've
certain
used it.
situations, and it's fantastic.
I've used it.
I
yeah.
use it for conflict resolution. I say, give me a script to follow, and it's really good.
I believe that chat, or when I say chat, I mean AI. I believe that AI will be 50 times better than the best therapist on the planet. AI will have been able to read and take, essentially AI will have 500 PhDs, or more, whatever. It will know you far better than your therapist knows you. It probably hears you all day long. It probably hears, instead of having to go to your therapist and tell them about a situation, it will probably have heard your situation. It'll probably have heard Graham on the phone talking to the contractor, or whatever, raising his voice, or, whatever it was. So I think, that's the answer. The answer for therapy is going to be AI.
I feel like the problem though with that is people assume because it has the 500 plus PhDs that it's the smartest thing that they can possibly talk to, that they'll start treating it as though anything that it says is completely, without question, true. And you say, hey, I handled a situation like this. And then ChatGPT says, oh, well, maybe it's because, 5 years ago this happened. And then you're like, it has to be that. There's no way it's not.
Well, people already do that with their therapist.
That's true.
People always already give too much credit. Chat right now is not that great, right? AI is still in its its beginning phases. In 5 years, it will be probably 99.9% right. And it will probably give you the best therapeutic answer you could possibly have ever received. Do I believe everything I read in chat now? No. It's got, it literally, Graham and I did a thing on it yesterday where I literally prompted it to push it in a different direction, and it gave me a totally different answer. But in 5 years, I think, this will be the answer to people that can't think critically, and people that need therapy.